Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So I asked you guys over on Instagram if there were any controversial topics you'd like my opinion on, and you guys are trying to get me in trouble. Yous are trying to get me goddamn cancelled over here, but I am feeling arsey, I'm feeling controversial, and we're just going with it. We are going with it, okay? So we've a range of topics we're going to discuss today. I have done a number of videos like this over the years of sharing my unpopular opinions, but it has been like well over a year since I have sat down and ran my goddamn mouth. So here we are. Now, I hope I don't offend anyone today, but in saying that, I probably will offend somebody because you cannot have an opinion anymore. These videos are extremely controversial these days because if you say anything kind of out of bounds now, people will jump down your throat for it. These days, you literally cannot have two different opposing opinions. Like, there's no such thing as just sitting back and listening to somebody else who has a different opinion to you and thinking about it, pondering it, maybe being like, oh, do they have a point there? Oh, where did they get that idea from? No, these days, if you have two different opinions, one person has to fight to their grave until the other person agrees with their opinion, and I hate it so much. We can think differently and still get along. We can still enjoy one another's company, enjoy one another's content. We don't have to agree with every single thing one another thinks. Okay, right, let's get started. I was going to say let's ease our way into these, but I really don't know how that's possible. So we're just going to dive headfirst into these. Okay, Americans and their guns. Oh my goodness. Why? Why are Americans allowed to have guns? Why? Why is that a law? I will never ever understand this. There is no logical reasoning behind this whatsoever. When you Google it, right, it says 72% of gun owners, about 3/4, say that protection is a major reason they own a gun. Maybe you wouldn't need to protect yourself if everybody else didn't own a gun. Maybe if we just got rid of all the guns altogether, you wouldn't feel the need to protect yourself. I just don't understand how all these school shootings are not enough of a reason for these guns to be banned. Now, I really hope this is not a controversial opinion or a controversial topic. Guns were banned in the UK back in, I think, 1996 or 1997 after a school shooting where 16 kids were killed. And there's literally school shootings going on every other week in America, but yet nothing is being done, and teachers are having to go to extreme measures to protect their kids in the classroom and themselves from these shootings. It's absolutely terrifying. Like, I've seen some really upsetting videos on TikTok of teachers showing the lengths that they're having to go to. Why are young innocent children having to live their lives in fear? Why? So some gobshite Billy Bob, 57 years old, who's bitter as that and down the road, can have his gun? Are you joking me? This topic actually makes me so angry, and I feel so strongly on it because what is wrong with us? What is wrong with humans? What is wrong with these people running these countries? I do a better goddamn job at running these countries, and that says a lot. Me. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness, this is insanity. I just googled it there. More than 25,000 people have been killed in gun violence so far in 2023. It's not like they have all these guns and they're not doing anything with them. They're not killing people. That would be a totally separate matter. They're killing people. A lot of innocent people. A lot of innocent kids. The statistics show. Compare America and their guns to another country where they don't have guns, and the statistics are way lower. The guns are an issue. I don't care what you say. I will bring that to my grave. I know you're probably sitting there being like, Jessica, controversial opinions aside, where did you get your bright, oversized jumper from? I love it. Well, this is from Fabletics, and I would like to thank Fabletics for sponsoring today's video. I have the most gorgeous pieces to show you guys, and we are finally in autumn now, which is one of my favourite times of the year. I love autumn so much. I love the fresh autumn days and then being able to be all cozy in your big oversized jumpers and your activewear. So when you become a VIP member with Fabletics, you can get any 2 leggings for £24, so that is £12 a legging. The most insane value you will ever find in the activewear market. And the one thing with Fabletics is you're going to get the affordable price point, but the quality is not lacking whatsoever. I cannot rave about Fabletics quality enough. It is just as good as any other activewear brand that you're dropping 50, 60 quid on a pair of leggings. And I don't say that lightly. As somebody who has activewear from other brands, Fabletics quality is to a goddamn T, let me tell you. So when you're VIP membership, you'll always get Fabletics at the best prices. You'll always have 20 to 50% off everything. You'll also get free delivery on orders over £45 and free returns within 45 days, which is just incredible because returning clothes can often be quite expensive and just a bit of an inconvenience. So the fact that it's free is absolutely amazing. And then with the membership, you can cancel anytime. So all of the control is in your hands. So if you just want to sign up to the membership for a month, get your 2 for £24 deal and then cancel your membership, you absolutely can. It's completely all in your hands, which I just love so much. As you know, I love Fabletics cozy clothes so much, and we have the most beautiful oversized jumpers that just go with absolutely everything. I just feel like a big baggy jumper over a tight little activewear set is so flattering. I don't know why. I love a jumper that covers my bum. I love it so much. I am so obsessed with these lilac leggings from the Motion 365 range. I was wearing these the other day when I was on my period, and I cannot tell you how stretchy these are on your body. They are so stretchy, but they still hug you in all the right places, which is such a hard find with a legging. I love their Motion 365 and their PowerHold leggings so much. I have so many colours of both of them and they never let me down. This is one of my new favourite sports bras. I love a tiny little sports bra so much because they go so well with any high-waisted leggings. So I will leave a little link down below in the description box. Any 2 trousers for £24 when you sign up to their membership. A deal you don't want to miss, and a reminder that it's not just leggings, it's any 2 trousers for £24. So yeah, thank you so much, Fabletics. Right, let's get my heart rate back up, shall we? Okay. Not being aspirational to climb the career ladder shouldn't be taboo, but feels it. I 100% agree. This definitely does feel taboo in this day and age. And I feel like it's because our society has gone way too far in the direction of hustle culture and grinding and doing the most and being a girl boss and doing it all yourself, for yourself, by yourself. It's just become so insane. I do really feel like these days that your career is so heavily attached to your worth, and if you're not wanting to do all of the above that I just mentioned, people do look at you like you're less than, like you're lazy, you know, you don't have any drive or ambition or get up and go behind you, which is just not the case at all. I feel like there's way too many people these days wanting to be self-employed and run their own business, and it's solely because of how much the 9 to 5 is being looked down upon. And I do wholeheartedly get it, but at the same time, we still need people working in the shops. We still need firemen. We still need doctors. We still need policemen. We still need nurses. We still need all these people that do the 9 to 5 jobs. Like, if we all collectively decide to stop working a 9 to 5 and we're all going to set up our own businesses, the world's going to fall to shit fairly fast. We're not going to get very far. You know, if we're all selling our overpriced lip glosses and hoodies on the internet, what happens when push comes to shove? I also just feel like there's way too much of an emphasis on never stopping and just constantly burning yourself out. And, you know, there is a lot more to life than money. And there's a lot more to life than your career. And I know people, like older people, who worked their arse off their whole life in their career, and then they retire and they're looking around and they're like, what was all that for? I've spoken to older people about this. Like, what was all that for? Why was I breaking my back? Why was I doing all these hours? For what? Because I don't even have a big load of savings behind me. You know, I've just been earning like decent money, but been doing the most my whole life. And now it's nearly at the end of my life, and I've spent my whole life focused on my career when there's so much more to life, you know? And I feel like it's okay if you just want to, you know, do your few hours in the corner shop, go home and have a slow-paced life, you know, where you're not extremely stressed and you're not overworked and you're not feeling burnt out and you know what to expect and you know what your routine is. Hell, that sounds amazing! Why are we looking down upon people for not wanting to break their goddamn backs in their career? It's also the whole argument of, why do women have to either choose to aspire in the career or be a mother? Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can a woman decide they don't want to do either, goddamn? Why? A man could do that if he wanted. Women are constantly looked upon as, are you working in your career or are you going to have a family? Now we're going to move on to something that a lot of people sent in was, what's my opinion on the banning of dog breeds? And up until a couple of hours ago, I hadn't even heard about this because this is going on in the UK. I obviously live in Ireland. A lot of people seem to still not understand that Ireland is not a part of the UK. Ireland is a separate country. I can't believe how many people still think we are part of the UK. Don't get me started on that one today though. But yeah, so I just read up a little bit about it, so I'm not extremely educated on this topic. So in addition to the pit bull, Britain has banned the Japanese Tosa, the Dogo Argentina and the Fila Brasiliano. I can't even pronounce half of them, so never mind me. But anyways, they're banning 3 or 4 dog breeds after a man was attacked by 2 dogs. So first things first, let's just get it clear. I am a huge dog lover. Like, I am such a dog lover. Like, oh my god, I can't even explain how much I love dogs. But I'm equally just as terrified of any of these dog breeds. Like the likes of a pit bull. If I see a pit bull, I would not go near a pit bull. I am wholeheartedly afraid of these dogs. But in saying that, a lot of these people go for these dogs because they are status dogs and they want their dogs to be aggressive, dominant, and they want them to be intimidating to other people. Like, that is the motive behind getting these dogs a lot of the time. But when I was reading up about this, just to try and understand it a bit better, apparently in Germany, they have a system where dogs over a certain weight have to pass certain tests to make sure they're not a danger to the public. I feel like this is a much fairer system than banning a full-on dog breed. So this means that all dogs over a certain weight have to go through training to make sure that they can pass these certain tests so they're not a danger to the public. And that just makes so much more sense to me when I think logically, because I'm just trying to understand what's going to happen here. Because from what I was reading about this, it was implying to me that anybody who has any of these breeds in the UK at the minute, they're going to take all their dogs away and kill them. Am I right in saying that? Like, that's the gist that I was getting. I just feel like banning the dog breeds when there are definitely going to be dogs that fall under these breeds that are actually people's pets. If the UK brought in the same regulations that's in Germany, and then they therefore made anybody who has one of these dogs at the minute, you know, their dogs have to undergo certain training to see if they can pass these tests. If they cannot pass these tests, then the dog has to be taken away. But if these dogs pass these tests and they are family pets with good owners, because so many people shouldn't have dogs, like full stop. And I feel like people should be, like how there's social protection services for kids and they'll go out and make sure where the kid is living is safe and the parents are this and that and the other. I feel like the same should apply for dogs. Do you know what I mean? To a certain degree, because people should be audited. There's so many people then who are, buying these dogs, these exact kind of breeds for criminal reasons, for breeding them, and they're inbreeding them, and then they're having all these mad health issues and all. The gist of it, I feel like it's such a hard one when I try and imagine if I had one of these breeds, but he was an actual pet. But then I'm like, I don't know enough about these breeds to know, is that even possible? Because these dogs are scary. I'm just like, surely if they had the right owner with the right training when they were young and they were, monitored and everything was safe, could they be a pet? And like, if I had an actual pet of one of these dogs and then they just take them away and kill them, like what? I feel like it would be better if they used Germany's system for the people who already have these dogs as pets and say, no more coming in. We're not breeding anymore. End of. I know that would probably be so hard to regulate though. That's why they have to go all in or all out on these things. But it's just the dog lover in me that's coming out being like, what if my dog who I lost a year and a half ago was one of these breeds, but that's just what's speaking in me. It's the dog lover. But yeah, as I said, I literally was only reading about this a couple of hours ago, so I don't have all the ins and out of the information. But I also feel like in general, when it comes to dogs, I feel like with a lot of the bigger dogs that there should be some regulation when it comes to training them as well, like that you should have to undergo intensive training with the dog if you're buying one. Like Dobermans, like they're some big dogs that if they attacked you, they would really hurt you, you know? Moving on. So, I love my boyfriend of 5 years, but I don't believe in marriage. Expensive bit of paper to make society respect your love. Unnecessary money for the same outcome of happiness. I 100% agree. No, I do and I don't. I do believe in marriage, but I 100% agree on your take with it. Like, 50% of marriages end in divorce. Like, I don't know why people will respect your relationship more if you're married. Even though, you know, you could be with somebody forever. Like, just say you're with someone 45 years. People will just be like, but why aren't you married? I would have left after 5 years if I didn't have a ring on my finger. But then you have the couple who have been married a year and they're getting a goddamn divorce. Honey, a bit of paper does not dictate how meaningful your relationship is whatsoever. Like you say, unnecessary money for the same outcome of happiness. They say it all the time. Having a baby isn't going to change your relationship, and getting married ain't going to change your relationship. All the things that people think are going to save their relationship and make their relationships better actually just make their relationships harder. Having a kid, more stress, more worries, another human into the equation of the relationship. Marriage, literally nothing changes. Like, you hear this all the time. Because they're still in the same relationship. It comes down to two parties, and if they're going to work at it every day, if they're choosing each other every day, and if they're putting the effort in every day. But no piece of paper and getting the government involved is going to change any of that. But yeah, I feel the same about people who don't want to have kids. Like, you know, a lot of people look down on people who don't want to have kids. But are they not doing the right goddamn thing? Like, if they know they don't want kids, leave any other information out of it. Why would you want to bring someone into the world who's not wanted, first of all? That child is going to have a miserable existence. If you don't want kids, you're doing the right thing and not having kids, you know? What is your opinion on influencers sharing their children online? Now, I do feel like this is going to be quite controversial. How do I explain this? So, I don't agree with family vlogger channels. So, parents who are exploiting their kids for content and for views and for money and are putting their kids in very compromising situations and sharing very personal situations and details and events that they're going through in their life and making that the whole focus of their content, like literally just using their kids as a money machine. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Like, I've seen some really disgusting things on the internet. One family channel, and their eldest is like, I think she's like 12 or something now, but I remember the thumbnail was like her in these tiny little workout shorts, and she was sitting down and you could literally see the outline of her private parts, and there was so much emphasis on it, and I'm like, you're literally just trying to attract creeps in. Like, that is what you are actively doing. Like, you know what you are doing there. There's so much messed up stuff going on, or what's going on with the 8 passengers, if any of you guys have been following that online. She's literally gone to jail because her kids were found, their wrists and their ankles were bandaged up, and one of the kids escaped to run to the neighbours and ask for food or water because she was using food and water as a means of punishment for her kids. Like, that woman is all kinds of messed up. Like, don't get me started on that kind of stuff. But what I don't have a problem with is people where their content, the focus is still themselves and their life, and you might like briefly see a kid pop in or out, but they're not the focus of the content, but they're just sharing their own life. I don't see a problem with that. But again, in saying that, I don't have a child. You know, so maybe if I had a child, it would be a totally different situation, because I know once you become a mother, your maternal instincts kick in and it's a totally different situation. But that's just where I stand on it. My camera battery died, but we are back. Okay, so our next one is, it's been on my mind because of all the things that are coming out lately, but the whole innocent until proven guilty, especially when it comes to rape, sexual assault. I always believe the victims and don't think the accused should be given the benefit of the doubt. I wholeheartedly agree. Oh, I could talk about this all day. What I find so funny is that most men would argue with you on this, But their argument would be that you have women accusing celebrities and footballers and these people, and they're falsely accusing them, and they're just trying to get a big payout and get money out of them, yada yada yada. Do you actually realise how small of a percentage it is of people who are wrongfully accused of rape or sexual assault? It is such a small percentage. And may I add that every single woman I know has been a victim of sexual assault. And do you want to know how many women I know who have pressed charges? One woman. Does that not speak volumes of what the statistics would be of women who do not come forward? And a lot of the reason why women don't come forward is because there is so much victim blaming that goes on, and it has gotten worse, I feel, in recent years than it has ever been before. Also, can I just say that the argument that a lot of men would have in relation to false allegations against celebrities or footballers, do you realise that most of the time they're not false allegations? These celebrities or footballers are paying these women off because they know that they have done this and they have that kind of power. They know certain kinds of people. You know, it's very hard to come up against these people with that kind of status. You know what I mean? A lot of the time you're not going to get very far because they can pull strings behind the scenes and make sure that it's not going to go further, you know? You can understand why a woman who has been assaulted by a celebrity would take a payout rather than pursuing it and going ahead, because of the backlash they will face from that person's fan base and their audience, and they'll be called all sorts, they'll be victim blamed, they'll be told they're lying, yada yada yada. A lot of people aren't going to want to go through that, you know? So a lot of the time these celebrities and stuff do pay people off, and then it's kept all hush hush and quiet because it's very difficult to go and press charges and have to relive it all again, and it's not an easy thing to do. So the fact that most men argue that, oh, we're all being falsely accused. No, you're not, darling. A lot of ye are assaulting women and nobody's ever hearing anything about it because we're absolutely terrified to take it any further, and it's very traumatizing to have to go through that and live through that again. And I know that from somebody I know who did press charges, and it was many years later, but it brings up a lot of very difficult memories that you don't really want to have to relive and keep playing over and going over and explaining through and through and through again. So yeah, I fully believe it should be guilty until proven innocent, especially with the likes of assault, because if you are innocent, you don't have anything to worry about. It will be proven, you can prove yourself. You know, they make it hard to prove these things. Like, it's very thorough investigations that go on to prove if somebody is guilty or not guilty. So if you're innocent, you have nothing to worry about. And that's what does really make me wonder, why are these men so protective of these footballers and celebrities? For what? Like, it's not affecting you. Or is that because maybe you've done some questionable things in your past? I don't know. But yeah, this one does make me really angry because I always believe the victims as well. And as somebody who has been through assault, and I just feel like women who do come forward, you know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do. And we shouldn't be victim blaming. It's gotten way too out of hand. So our next one is, I personally feel like the legal age to have sex should be 18. It is 16 in a lot of countries, even younger in some other countries. But you then have the likes of a 16-year-old going out with a 25-year-old. That's somebody who's still going through puberty with somebody who potentially finished college and in the workplace. If you have a 16-year-old with a 25-year-old, that's 9 years difference of life experience. And do you understand how much a 25-year-old would be able to manipulate a 16-year-old girl? Also, I don't think you should be considered an adult at 18. I feel like you should be considered an adult at 21. Who the hell decided that an 18-year-old is an adult? I don't know. You think you know it all at 18, but you haven't a clue. I thought I knew everything, and you're so set in your ways. If anything, all you know is what you want to do in college, and even at that, it's such a far reach. Like, how are you meant to just finish school, right? You've spent your whole life being told what to do, and then all of a sudden, figure it out. You're out in the real world now. You know, like, you always hear, like, parents being like, you're 18 now, my job here is done. But at 18, you're only going out into the real world. Like, that's literally only when your life experience is starting, because you've been so mollycoddled in a little bubble with school and the same routine for your whole life prior to that. And that's why I just feel like 18 to 21 should be the years where, you know, you're getting out in the real world and you're figuring it all out. And then 21 to 25 should be like pre-adult, I feel, because I'm 25 now, and they say your brain only fully develops at 25, and I have been really feeling that. I don't know what it is. It's like I turned 25 and so many light bulbs started going off, and I was like, whoa. It's like a flip was switched inside my brain. I just feel like way too much pressure is put on people at 18, at 19, at 20, when you are literally just getting your feet on the ground. This is actually a good one. One of you guys said, when you want to have sex but you're legit so tired you don't have the energy to orgasm. As you know, in the last number of years, sex has become much more spoken about, which is amazing. With that has come us women taking back our power for our orgasms, which has been so incredible. And as you know, I have spoken a lot about this topic on my channel over the years, but I feel like what that has done is make us women feel like we can't just enjoy sex without having an orgasm, which is something that we were doing for so many years. Like, no orgasms. They were nowhere to be found. But I personally feel like, as a woman, we can enjoy sex without having an orgasm. Like, 100%. Like, you can have sex, you can have great sex without having an orgasm. So you don't need to feel like you can't have sex unless you are going to reach orgasm. Like, there's so many reasons. Like, sometimes it's just you're not in the mood, or it's just not going to happen, and you shouldn't prevent yourself from having a good time just because you feel like you're not, you know, standing up for your own orgasm. Like, it's okay to do what feels right for you, and if that's having sex and not having an orgasm, great, you don't need one. But if that's also demanding one every time, also great, you know? Like, you fight for your goddamn orgasm. We were not fighting for them for way too long, you know? So now we have our goddamn power back. But yeah, once you're having a good time, you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters, in my humble opinion. Another topic I want to touch on is these whole TikTok names. I don't know even what you call them. So now, like, blue nails are called blueberry milk nails. Or like a smoky eye and just a basic makeup look is called latte makeup. Why are we trying to make everything aesthetic? I have blue nails. Well, no, I have red nails at the minute. But these are not strawberry milk nails. Like, why? It's confusing me. I am getting confused. Am I old? Does this mean I'm getting old? Because it's been really doing my head in. It's just like we're trying to come up with a name for everything, and it's so unnecessary. One thing I am loving is girl maths. Now, if you're on TikTok, you will know what girl maths is. If you're not, it's basically girl maths. So an example would be, if you buy something and then you return it and you get €50, that money's free because you returned something and, you know, you didn't expect to have that money. Or anything under £5 is free. Girl maths. So if you go and buy coffee and it's $4.50, it was free because it was under £5. Girl maths. I am a stan of girl maths. And TikTok has made me realise I have never had an original thought in my life. None of us. We're all just carbon copies of each other, and we didn't even know. Like, the most unhinged stuff you will come across on TikTok. And you're actually sitting there going like, wow, 500,000 people have liked this. I'm not the only one. Our next one is, I don't know if this counts, but doctors. Are they heroes or are they people who can't truly listen? I feel like they are both, okay? And hear me out. There are some people who should not work with people. I don't understand why some people go into the line of jobs that they do, and I know it's probably because of other reasons, and like the paycheck and the benefits, and maybe they were pushed into it by their parents or their whole family are doctors, but some people are not capable of working with people. You know, they don't have the compassion, the empathy, the sensitivity, They're just rude and ignorant and arrogant. And I feel like that stands in every line of work, and obviously doctors are no different. There are some doctors who are heroes, and then there are doctors who genuinely cannot listen, and I have encountered a lot of them in my time, and I feel like that's what it comes down to. I don't think it's one of them things that you're able to put a whole black and white label on, but one thing that really irks me is like older doctors not keeping up with newer information and findings. Let me give you an example, right? A couple of weeks ago I had a rash and I rang the doctor and I needed a cream, and he prescribed me a cream. Went to the chemist to get the cream. They haven't sold this cream in years, I said. Why the hell is he still prescribing something that they haven't prescribed in years? He hasn't a clue. He's still working back in 2000. He's not working with the doctors and the findings of 2023. And I feel like that's what's so detrimental. I don't understand. Is there no regulations? Well, I know there are regulations. I think they're meant to keep up with these things in their own time, but a lot of them don't. And I feel like that's where the issue is some of these jobs are too cushiony. Like if you're working for the HSE, you're never going to get fired. You know, obviously if you're like your own doctor and you're self-employed, it's different, but if you work for like the government, they can't fire you. So people like this doctor who's, you know, older and probably isn't arsed anymore and he's just there for the paycheck, he's not actually keeping up to date with things, but then that's going to come back on their patients. So doctors like him don't listen because he's not even arsed to stay educated on what he needs to know to be a good goddamn doctor. But I would say doctors are definitely heroes. Obviously doctors literally do save lives, but there are some questionable characters in the healthcare system. Okay my darlings, I'm gonna wrap it up here, but I really hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you would like me to do another one of these controversial opinions videos. I would definitely be up for that if I am not in too much trouble after this video. But don't forget that there is a link down below where you can get any 2 trousers for £24 when you sign up to Fabletics VIP membership. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all so very much, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next one. Bye bye friends.